Over the past few weeks, I have been trying to make some fun content with the RED Komodo, really with this setup in particular, using the Blue Shape BP955 batteries, the Komodo with the Sigma 30mm 1.4, my little SMALLRIG handle, and it's been a really nice and compact setup specifically for run and gun. But one of the things that I've learned the hard way through using this camera as a run and gun camera is, besides the usability not being the best for run and gun, one thing that I have come to unfortunately regret is buying the Stormtrooper edition camera before the Komodos were officially released. It's not going to be for the exact reasons you probably think, but overall, I still really love the Komodo, and we'll look at some images today shot with the Sigma 30mm, a Blackpromist 1/8, and also the IR cut UV filter, which I have right here, which I use because I also really love the Canon drop-in filter. But the one from Canon does have a lot of IR pollution, so using an IR cut UV filter absolutely helps with that. What you'll see in today's footage is everything is shot at f1.4 just to test it out to the max. We'll get into it more after this. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for watching. My name is Geoff Fagien, and today we're going over some of the footage I took on the RED Komodo with the Sigma 30mm 1.4 on the beach with my buddy Diego, who you may recognize from the last video I did about a year ago with the Sigma 30mm 1.4. That lens unfortunately has not really seen that much action, and it's kind of disappointing because I really love how small that lens is, the image quality. It's pretty much the smallest Sigma art lens that Sigma has, and it's also the very first lens that Sigma released in the art series. So it doesn't have the best image quality out of all the Sigma art class, but it does have pretty decent image quality, as you'll see today. When it comes to why I regret getting the white Stormtrooper, it really comes down to it being white. I went for the white because I definitely thought it was going to be less loud as far as color than the other colors. I really only use the Komodo in narrative, corporate, and commercial settings and documentary settings the past year or so, so it's all been in controlled environments, but I never really used it in a run and gun B-roll scenario. So the past few weeks have been new for me as I've been using it in a more run and gun situation, keeping this really small RED Komodo kit. And what I've noticed is the white camera seems to attract a decent amount of attention. I used to go out and shoot with a GH5, even a Blackmagic Pocket 4K, and I never really got too much attention because the cameras were black. They kind of faded in. They look like DSLRs. I mean, the GH5 is basically a mirrorless camera, so it's close to a DSLR, but I never really got much attention. And it seems like the white color of the Komodo just really catches people's eyes, especially people who are looking for people who are filming without a permit. Now, I'm not going in places, putting down light stands, putting down a tripod and you know, filming like that. A lot of cities, especially down here in Miami, LA, the second you put a stand down, you need a permit. So I'm doing everything as handheld. Having a black Komodo, or really just a Komodo with not a loud color, will help you get into these situations where you're trying to be run and gun, stealthy, get the shot and get out. Now, when it comes to using the IR cut filter, I could easily see there was really not much bleed through when it comes to IR pollution. Now, if you start getting into the deeper end of the VND from Canon, you're still going to see the blue shift. An IR cut filter is not going to eliminate that. What it's supposed to help is those really deep IR pollution shots where you just see a lot of magenta bleed through. I actually have a shot here from the other day. You're going to see the 30mm with an IR cut filter, and then you're going to see it without it. And if you notice, especially in the trees, the green trees, you'll see a lot of magenta IR pollution in the trees without the filter, and it's pretty much all eliminated with the filter. And what's interesting is using this filter doesn't really seem to degrade image quality. Used a Tiffen Blackpromist 1/8 strength filter to kind of soften the skin tones. So it does soften the image a little bit. We're shooting at 6K LQ at ISO of 400. I didn't go all the way to 800 because I didn't necessarily want that kind of a grain pattern. I wanted the image to be relatively clean with a balance of, you know, a clean image and also, you know, not going too low on the ISO to start hurting my highlights. You can use the Komodo for run and gun. I mean, I did it this weekend. I didn't even use my iPhone as a monitor. I pretty much used the built-in monitor the entire time, which isn't ideal, but it can be done. We shot for a little bit over an hour, and I didn't even put a dent in the second BP battery from Blue Shape, so those batteries work really well. I pretty much only use the BP955 batteries, mainly in professional work for gimbal situations, as it's a lot easier to use these BP955s than to use the core and the V-mount battery. Even though it's smaller than a traditional V-mount battery, it does add a decent amount of weight, so it just makes things a lot simpler. I can also pack them in a bag a lot easier and pack a little charger for the BP955 batteries and just be as small and compact as possible. I'm pretty much using this really small sling backpack on a lot of these run and gun shoots that's really small. It holds the Komodo, it holds 1 or 2 lenses, it also holds my DJI Mavic Mini 2, and if I really need to push it, it will also hold my MacBook Air with the charger, which is part of the reason I really love the M1 MacBook Air. And I actually have a bunch of videos on that. If you haven't seen them, check them out. I'll have them in the description and some cards above. But that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. And if you got knowledge out of today's video, please make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell to keep up to date with the latest videos. Thank you again for watching. My name is Geoff Fagien, and I will see you in the next video.